Oh, one person with us today. Hey, Alan.
We'll acquire more. We always do.
Yeah.
They'll find us.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah.
Let's do the thingy.
I thought we were going to get rid of that behind us. That's going to screw us up again today.
I can't move it.
Oh, all right.
What's gonna screw us up? The banner?
Yeah.
How
Because it focuses on that face, not us.
Oh, okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
If you want to keep, hell, I don't know. It's spring in Texas. Just send us money.
Dehumidifier?
Yeah, dehumidifier. There we go. Just send us money. Like coffee, talk to these guys. Let them know you heard about it here. Remember, we're doing a coffee anthology or 14 later in the year. Also, if you like smart ass t-shirts, and who doesn't, go here, buy your smart ass t-shirts. Wally, I'm assuming this is from you. We got a something delivered to the blanket fort, and it is
You just cannot get that straight.
no, I can't. This was a very, very
It lies.
yeah, lies. This is a very, very fun Cards Against Humanity type game that we were playing at. I got it at Kansas City.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So we now have weekends.
First, Padre, Wallbanger, everybody else. Man,
Assuming this is from Wally.
yeah. We were wondering if anybody was going to show up because originally Alan was the only one here and there was nothing in the chat. Hey, Julian. And Wally admits it was his.
Thank you. Thank you
Wally
very
is
much.
the game master,
Yep.
so it makes sense.
Well,
It will get put to good use.
Between this and Munchkin, we should be good for weekend gaming.
I have a crap ton of games at my house because I used to play tabletop games. Only now I need to focus, I guess, on finding games that are one person because nobody will play with me.
Not going there. Nope. We're going to keep this one civil today, one way or the other.
I would like to have a brief discussion about your squiddly cousins in Thailand.
Now, what the hell did they do?
Apparently, the Royal Thai Navy was having a shooting exercise and got a round jammed in one of their big guns.
Right.
So they went into port and forgot the second rule of firearm safety. They were pointing it at another Royal Thai Navy vessel when they were trying to clear the jam.
And they cleared it.
Well,
Explosively.
something got cleared.
Oh no!
Well, I bet it was the colons of the entire command staff of that their ship, and probably the other one too.
Not the first time it's happened.
Don't point the gun at anything you don't want to destroy.
That actually happened in a Turkish port to a U.S. Navy ship.
Don't point at anything
Who
you don't want to.
inadvertently fired a missile at the ship next door.
Oh no!
That was not ours.
Oh no!
They called a drill. The kid that had just sat down at the weapons station didn't hear the drill part.
Oh, poor guy.
Click.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Yeah, and Vexus is still having problems. Although it may swear up and down it's 100%, it ain't.
Well, we've got some weird weather going on right now.
Yeah, Vexus is vexing.
It shouldn't be the weather, but it might be the time of day because we were fine yesterday evening when we did the broadcast.
Well, at noon on Tuesday, it sucked.
Yeah, no, I know. I was watching
Well,
you guys,
also-
and I can hear you, but I really couldn't see what was going on.
It's also it's based out of Lubbock,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, thank you, Julian. I look much better pixelated.
ouch. It's based out of Lubbock, and some of their nodes twixt here and there might have gotten roasted.
Yeah, the Fox looks good because it doesn't move.
Also, I think that thing is probably focusing on the face.
The It is.
Now we know.
We'll get it moved.
Anything I can put back there quickly would be another problem because the pull-up banners mostly have faces.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have not been thrilled with Vexes.
Yeah.
But see, we love Vexes.
Well, my problem is that they started out at one price and they keep jacking it up on me.
Yeah.
They lowered mine.
I may have to talk to.
How much are you paying a month?
Right now, I'm paying about $100 a month. So I have.
You might want to talk to them
I
because
have the top of the line because I work from home. So
Yeah.
I have to have
well, that's
really
not so bad.
good speed.
That's not so bad.
So
Sorry, folks. I didn't think that other one went live. I guess it did.
oh, okay.
I was having
Trouble
camera
finding
issues on this end.
Another stream showing the tube. Ouch. Y'all go back and tell them that it's over here.
God, it's just one of those days.
I hurt. I'm grouchy. I woke up
Yeah.
grouchy.
Yeah, Jonna didn't even make it to work today because she's hurting so bad. This weather's just, it's
Spring in Texas.
and it's not good for us old people. Trust me.
No.
It's good for the garden. But
Yeah.
that's about it. It's bluebonnet time.
Yeah.
It is bluebonnet time. And pretty soon it'll be Indian paintbrush time. And quite
Yes.
honestly, I prefer Indian paintbrush. I love bluebonnets. I really do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the Indian paintbrush are the ones I like.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Hey, Carlton.
Indian paintbrush are hard to grow in the garden though because they require a symbiotic relationship with I think it's a fungus in the soil.
Yeah.
So you can't just plant seeds and expect to get them.
Oh,
So
Well, it's as we said on Tuesday. That's what TxDOT does. Go down the side of the road, throwing them outside of the
well,
truck.
right, and that actually will work. For one thing, they might be using a treated seed that is kind of.
they've got seeds
Coated.
wrapped in this purple.
That's exactly what they do. They coated it and they've got spores of the
Yeah.
stuff in with it to enhance their chances of actually establishing.
Yeah.
Once you get them established, fine.
You know that stuff that you get as a palate cleanser when you're leaving Indian restaurant?
yes.
It's a little spoon stuff and
Yes,
it's got the little color.
candy coated fennel seeds.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
Indian paintbrush does not taste as good. It looks the same. It does not taste the same.
No sugar in there. I'm willing to bet.
Oh,
That's more like kale and usually clay. It's a clay with stuff in it.
Or so I've heard.
yeah. Mikado says Texas has the prettiest ditches in the world.
Damn,
Yeah.
Skippy.
Well, I will say that I don't know if he got the idea from down here or not, but in New Hampshire, there was a guy and he was a friend of my dad's. So I actually got to know him and saw a couple of his presentations. But he they were planting wildflowers in the medians of the big highway that runs up and down New Hampshire. Guy Ginta. And he was also the lilac man. I mean, that was his thing. He was absolutely passionate about lilacs. We had a lilac at the farmhouse that was quite likely as old as the farmhouse, so dating back to the 1860s.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it had a trunk on it that was easily 6 inches across.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Weird little archaeology things. How you can find houses by what used to grow around them.
Oh, yeah.
Around here, I imagine it's probably roses. I know a big one here in Texas.
Roses, and if you can find a square of China berries,
Yeah. Okay.
because the birds will perch on the edges of the house,
Yeah.
and then you'll have this row of
Yeah.
China
that
berry
makes sense.
volunteers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like my next door neighbor.
I hate China berries.
Oh, you
China
and
berries
me
are
both.
hackberries. I don't know what the hell they are. I just know I hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching one of the YouTube videos the algorithm gifted me with. It's this fellow up in North Dakota that excavates yards, and he's looking for old outhouse pits, and then he does like archaeology digs into.
To see what fell in.
Well, they would dip them out. He says you can tell when they've been dipped, and then they would use them as the trash. So you get these pits are full of glass bottles and rusted old horseshoes and stuff. Oh yes, there's poo.
Yeah.
I'm watching him rummaging around in there, and he'll occasionally pull a glove off to
Yeah.
wipe off a bottle to show the embossing, and I'm like, dude.
And John has been watching it. Says, I love that guy.
Hepatitis and
Yeah.
typhoid for everybody.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about he's in pits that were in use in the 1910s, back
Yeah.
to the 1870s.
Well, in
Polio for everybody.
There were
In
some gnarly
Italy,
diseases.
in Italy, they are actually doing. They were in 2010
Mhm.
doing an archaeological dig on the trash pits
Mhm.
in
Oh, yeah.
Catania, Sicily, going back to the 1200s.
Oh, yeah.
You get the best archaeology in trash pits.
Yeah.
Trash pits.
Yes.
The septic tank. Yeah.
I mean, because that people threw things away, but you can piece it back together and you can figure out by looking at the different layers
Yeah.
what was going
yeah.
on. I mean, this
The
guy, he'll
middens.
Yeah.
The middens in
Yeah.
Ancient campsites,
Mhm.
campgrounds,
yeah,
especially in the middens in the Pueblo culture
Yeah.
mhm,
are a treasure trove.
yeah, because it's so dry.
Yeah, Jonna says they found a banana in a Tudor era trash pit. Yeah.
Yeah, bananas would run relatively new
Yeah.
to England at the time.
Yeah.
But
And Courtney says,
of course.
that's why you should shred your personal stuff.
yeah, the one of the outhouse holes I
Banana.
saw him dig was it had been an army depot on the railroad.
Yeah.
And he keeps pulling beer bottles out. It's beer bottle after beer bottle after beer bottle. He found a pair of spurs.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well,
Oh.
when we did the sonnet ring at USC when I was there, they had to dig up the street in front of the
Mm-hmm.
computer sciences building.
It's always a fun time to figure out what's down there.
Oh, they found some interesting stuff
Oh, cool.
because it was a block up from the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
In that pit was the remnants of a wooden case full of railroad pottery,
Oh, wow.
plates, saucers, cups
Cool.
Oh, wow.
that were not broken.
Yeah. The whole case got buried somehow.
The whole case got buried. Yeah.
Wow.
And they
Cool.
found 2 layers of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
So the street had been
They
bricked over
and then bricked again.
and bricked again. And they said the first set of bricks was early 19 something. And the set below that was 1840s.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Well, something that a lot of people don't think about. People talk about how the internal combustion engine is dirty. People don't think about what the ramification of everybody using horses was. That's a lot of poo.
Yeah.
A lot of poo. And quite literally, there was times when it was easier to just brick over the layer than try to figure out how to get rid of it and put it somewhere else.
I remember reading an opinion piece in the London Gazette from way back whenever, during the crossover where everybody was just starting to get coal.
Mhm.
And someone was bitching about all the coal dust.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, your choice, coal dust or horseman, or make
Yeah.
a choice. It's like,
Yeah.
ow.
Yeah. And a few more people have shown up. Raptor,
Yay!
James, John. Yeah. Courtney makes a good point. Old houses where they used magazines and newspapers for insulation.
Mm-hmm.
There was a house,
Oh, yes. Oh,
I
yes.
want to say in New Hampshire,
Mm-hmm.
where they were going in to restore it. And they started peeling off the wallpaper and an addition on the back. And it had movie A sheets
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
from the early days.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
The movie A sheets turned out to be worth more than the property did after they peeled them apart. And 3 or 4 years ago, they were doing some renovations at Bletchley Park outside of London.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. They found the code books.
Well, they found Turing's original notes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy in West Virginia. He bought a house on purpose so
Yeah.
that he could peel away the inside walls and reveal the Revolutionary era fort.
Yeah.
The log fort that they had
Yeah.
sheathed over to make it into a nice farmhouse.
Yes,
And,
Nancy,
I saw a
literally-
video of him doing a tour on that. That was really cool.
Literally vintage A sheets going back to the silent movie days.
Yeah.
The guy that was the owner of the theater apparently owned the house. And that was what he used to insulate
That's what he had.
that back room.
So there's nothing quite like having a nice chicken tagine, and realizing that one of the walls your table is up against is a Roman fresco.
Mm, yeah.
That's just
That part of the world is not unusual.
Mm-mm.
I mean, when you figure Rome,
Hmm.
City Hall was designed and built by Michelangelo.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
still in use.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a video I came across. I wound up not watching all of it, but it's this young couple that's renovating. They are calling it a house. I would call it an apartment.
Mhm.
The building is easily 1,000 years old. They talk about they know it's at least 1,000 years old. They're in Sicily.
Yeah.
So,
or at least 1,000.
yeah. And they were talking about how it had been like one building and then they kept adding on and adding on. And so it's like one continuous building all the way up this hill.
That, I wonder if that's the one outside of Moda.
I don't know. I can find the YouTube video for you. They show occasionally like drone aerial shots of the little village that they're in. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the fun things about doing these YouTube wanders
Yeah.
is that I get to see parts of the world that I would never get to actually go see. And with everybody doing drone footage these
Yeah.
days, there's some really cool shots you get.
Well, when Google Earth first came out, people are finding stuff on Google Earth.
Still are.
Yeah, just
mean,
fantastic.
There's people out there that make a game of that. Doing detective work, looking for weird things on
Yeah.
the globe by
Mhm.
spending hours poring over the satellite footage.
Jesse says, Mrs. Jesse and I almost bought a house that had a vintage Rolls Royce in the garage. When the car disappeared the day before the auction, she was so miffed she didn't bid.
Oh,
Yeah, there was that guy, this was a couple of years ago, that everybody thought was dirt poor because he was, didn't dress well. The
Mhm.
property was run down.
yeah.
He drove a beat up old Volkswagen, guy named Miller. And when he died, they opened up the junk barns that were on the property.
Hmm.
Among other things was a Talbot Lago, an early Mercedes, an early Jaguar.
And he was rich because he wasn't driving them.
Well, but I mean, millions of dollars worth of cars
Wow.
that he had somehow or the other gotten a hold of.
Hmm.
I remember we lived in a house briefly in Malta, and you could see where the electrical wiring had been added.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It had to go. It was in conduit along the walls.
Oh yeah,
Right.
because you couldn't go through the 3-foot thick
No,
marble walls.
No.
well there are adobe houses here in Texas the same way.
Same way,
Yeah.
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 There's a friend of mine's dad. He and I were in the Navy together. His dad was a pilot for American back in the day. And they bought a ranch south of Fort Worth. And it had an adobe house that had been built in the 1850s, probably.
Hmm.
And it was 3-foot thick walls,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it was adobe over rock.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So they literally, everything had to be brought in through the ceiling and down.
Hmm.
And the ceiling was, I want to say 3x6 or 3x12 planks. And there was a trap door in the ceiling up to a parapet around the house. And there were murder holes in the parapet.
Yep.
So that house had been built back in the day when they were still fighting Indians.
Hell, in Texas, they were fighting Comanches into the early 1900s,
Yeah.
early mid 1900s.
Oh, I was watching a backpacker. Speaking of drone footage, this guy is walking through this canyon somewhere in the southwest, looking at old Pueblo
Yeah.
ruins. Which the drone footage on that was just
Oh,
stunning.
I believe it. I believe it.
But he was going up to some of the ruins, and he does nice, slow, steady camera work. So you
Yeah.
actually get to see which
Actual
is-
decent camera.
yeah. But he's showing these little holes, and he's calling them peepholes, and I'm like, oh, honey.
Whoops.
Yeah, and Michael brings up a good point. Some towns in Sicily are selling abandoned houses for $10.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
this young couple was talking
Yeah,
about.
and
It was
people
the
are
house
buying
was
them
super
and-
cheap.
Yeah, using them for vacation retirement homes.
Well,
Yeah.
but here's the problem. Italy, their population is aging so
Yeah.
quickly, and they have no replacement
Yeah.
base
Yeah.
that they're trying to lure anybody and everybody they can to come in so they can tax the living daylights out
Oh, yeah.
of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Spanish do the same thing. The
The Spanish, I think
Spanish houses are the same way too.
Portugal, I think, is doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, just based on the stuff I'm seeing from YouTube for all these people going, we're renovating this abandoned house that's been here for hundreds of years. And I'm like, it was empty for a reason.
Yeah.
or the ones that buy the castles.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a bunch of French
Yeah.
chateaus renovation videos on YouTube. Those places
There's
are.
a French archaeological site. They're rebuilding a castle.
Yeah.
Can't remember-
Using the original methods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I
It
know
is-
which one you're
it's
talking
a-
about. I
it's
can't
a-
remember the
yeah,
name
I
of
can't
it.
remember the name of it. It's fantastic. You wouldn't catch me living in a castle. There's a
Cold.
reason.
They're
Jackie.
cold. They're damp.
Yeah.
There were
You have to
reasons.
go outside to go to the bathroom because there is not one inside, especially in the old ones.
Well, no, they had one.
There
It was
was-
just a long drop with a
Yeah.
strong draft.
Yeah,
Oh, look, the moat.
yeah. That's
where everything
exactly what
lands.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Splot.
That or your job was the poor guy with the long stick at the bottom that had to keep it cleared out.
Well, the one that I saw in Scotland, the moat was actually off the river,
Mm-hmm.
so it had water flowing through it.
Mhm.
But the caution was, do not use this garderobe.
Just a
Yeah.
30-foot drop to cold water.
Well, not only that, they took the toilet paper out. But I had a friend who's from Lisbon, not Lisbon, Madrid. And she was talking about, we got talking about history.
Mm-hmm.
And she was laughing at me.
Yeah.
She says, you got 200 years of history.
A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically,
Yeah.
We're babies next to them. Yes,
Yeah,
we get
she
this.
said- my family has lived in the same house for 500 years, and we're still the new kids on the block. Yeah.
There are downsides too.
And I said, have you ever been up in the attic? She said, oh God, no, I'm afraid to go in the attic of that house. I don't know what's up there. I don't think my father or my grandfather ever went in the attic.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Spanish armor, anyone?
Mm.
Stuff that the Spanish government doesn't want you to have, anyone.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of the little old lady when formerly Great Britain was having a weapons turn in,
Yeah.
and she showed up with shopping bags.
Yeah.
And the Met police lost their minds
Yeah.
because he still had his Sten gun and everything he had from
No.
World War II,
Yeah.
including
Oh.
up to and including the Mills bombs.
Yeah. Or the little old lady. Remember her?
Yeah. Oh God.
There is a reason now. There is a specific group of Scottish Yard Metropolitan Police in England
Mm-hmm.
who knew nothing but go to old people's houses when they died.
Yes.
And they searched the houses
Uh-huh.
because this little old lady that everybody thought had just been a secretary
Uh-huh.
had Thompson submachine gun, a Colt 45,
Mm-hmm.
and at least 2 hand grenades
That should be the SOE or World War II.
Yeah.
Yep.
in her house.
Yep.
And they were all loaded.
I seem to remember.
She
That-
learned the hard way to be cautious.
Yeah.
that the wife of the dead guy that brought in the shopping bags, when they asked her why he kept them, he said because, quote, he didn't trust the government.
Yeah.
That tends to make formerly Great Britain nervous. How stable the Mills bombs were, they weren't.
Yeah, not very.
No.
Not after that long. Chemicals are funny. They'll be there just perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Until they're not.
Well, and not even that, but until the slightest move.
Yeah.
Just that's all
Yeah.
they need.
Especially stuff that has a great deal of energy stored in its molecular lattices.
Unstable, yes.
It tends to-
matrices.
It doesn't get any more stable.
yeah.
No.
Brennan says
It never gets any more stable.
the only pineapples she had in her house were the spicy variety.
They were
Yes.
very Mills bombs.
Yeah, the interesting part was both the 45 and the Thompson were freshly lubed. So they hadn't been stuck away and forgotten.
Mm-hmm. She'd been taken care of.
She'd been taken care of.
Like she'd been trained.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
she'd been trained.
Yeah, there. And there are some strange stories about stuff like that happening over here too.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine pretty much any place.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to have a completely unarmed populace.
No,
There's always a way. And the more the government tries to unarm you, then
The
probably
more people
the more
go-
weird stuff are secreted away in people's
People go,
attics.
I wonder why.
yeah.
Because we're nasty, suspicious people.
That reminds me too about it's 2008. We were up at Wanamaker. For those of you who don't know what Wanamaker is, it's the largest gun show in the United States. Probably one of the largest in the world. 4,000 tables.
If as far as private, not run by the government, yeah, it's the largest in the world.
Yeah. So we're up there wandering around. Go by this table, and there are Thompson parts from 1921 to 1928 Thompsons laid out on the table,
Including the giggle bits,
including the giggle bits.
proper permits.
They were English, British. He was cleaning out his garage.
Like you do.
Yeah. You could have built, I counted at least 5 fully automatic Thompsons out of what was laying on the table. I mean, he had stocks, he had barrels, he
That's
had action.
50,000 minimum per.
Yeah.
Minimum.
The only problem was the table next to him was a friggin' ATF.
It takes a lot of chutzpah for the alcohol, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to set up a table at a gun show.
They did.
That's a lot of chutzpah.
And they were not confiscating the parts.
They were carefully not looking in that direction.
Yes.
Good men.
Now, I can remember going to a gun show in Houston in 74, 75. And one table was selling Uzis. The next table was selling Sears. The next table to that was selling suppressors.
So these things are out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, you
It's like-
see all kinds of ad on the internet for oil filters.
don't.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
That's
I've
a
heard
trap.
about that.
That's a trap.
Solvent trap my dying ass. That's an ATF trap.
It's a trio. But I love the old joke about, hey, is that a unregistered Florida Thompson? I don't know. Are those level 4 plates?
Oh.
Chill, Frank. It was a joke.
Yeah. Nancy says Gordon had a Tommy gun when he was a kid and sold it to his eternal regret. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the same Thompson at Tulsa be offered for sale 1 year for $17,000, next year for $24,000, the year after that for $37,000.
Sounds like a solid investment.
Well, it had provenance. It was a 1921 FBI issued.
Oh, yeah.
That was also, I think it was 2010. Yeah, it had to be 2010. Watched a little Japanese guy pay $237,000 in a check for a #1 grade Purdy.
It's worth it.
It was the one built for Prince Edward.
Purdy shotguns.
#1 grade. engraved barrels, had the goose, let's see, there's 3 barrels. I guess one of them was pheasant, one of them was goose, and I forget what the other one was. Basically 3 different calibers. All of them engraved. The wood on it, the stock was fantastic. It was like a burled maple stock.
Ooh.
Looked like the finest piece of furniture you ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
And this little Japanese guy he wrote a check, handed it to him. The interesting part is the Japanese guy couldn't own it either. Couldn't take it back to Japan.
No. Japan's got
So
some
is there
stupid.
a neutral area where these kinds of things go?
He had
What should I
someplace he
not
was going to
ask?
store it and bought it as an
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah,
It's a hell of an investment.
yeah.
And I've seen Australians there shopping.
And they couldn't have it.
No, they could not have it, but they could find what they wanted and order it and get it 18 months later if they were lucky. They could drool over the ARs and the semi-autos.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they could order was bolt action.
I don't understand living in a place like that.
Yeah.
If your government does not trust you to have guns, that's what us retired law enforcement types call a clue. We don't think you need to have guns. I want to.
Yeah, Rick, he could not store it in Japan. He had some kind of deal set up. No, it was not a drilling. I have fired a drilling, and what is it, 8x57?
Yeah.
Underlug barrel.
Uh-huh.
That son of a bitch kicks because it's basically an 8mm.
It is, yeah. It's an 8mm on 57mm long case.
Yeah.
So it's 323, 32.
Yeah, about a 32, but it's yay long.
Well, not only that, but they don't. A lot of those pretty drillings, there's a science behind making a gun stock, and especially make gun stock for someone. There's a science to the whole thing. And a lot of the really pretty drillings, they did them to be pretty. They didn't actually make a good stock. They made a pretty stock.
Well,
And they
Sour and Sons made shootable ones.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
not all drillings are from Sour and Sons.
Yeah. No, Winkle Red, it was 3 sets of double barrels with that shotgun.
Yeah, that's common,
You'd
quite
swap
common.
it out depending on what you were going
Yeah,
out.
pull the lever, yank off
Okay.
first set, the second set.
Yeah.
Because the first time I heard you say that, my mind somehow wanted to make it into 3 barrels that were all the different things.
No,
And I'm
that's
like, why would you?
yeah, that's my screw up. Sorry.
Most
No, that's okay. That's,
most of
I'm
your
not familiar, so
Pheasants, Richard. Pheasants, not peasants.
the peasants are revolting.
they stink on ice.
Yeah.
You can do that a lot with a lot of semi-auto shotguns and pump
Yeah.
shotguns. You can you get a 16-inch barrel, pull it, put an 18 or a 24, pull a 36 on there.
Yeah, I'm running right to recoil. I wrote it all right, but I've also had 3 shoulder separations on this right shoulder, which is why I don't like to do big guns.
I just have no interest in getting a horse around.
Yeah. Remember that friggin' 418 that
Jesus.
Kelly brought that year?
Oh,
That little 418 Rigby. And that damn rifle weighed about
416.
416.
yeah.
It might have weighed 6 pounds.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It was a stupid rifle. It was a 416 Rigby. It was a stupid rifle.
Yeah.
My work gun for several years was a 1-inch chain gun. There's nothing you can fire from a shoulder that impresses me, guys.
Well, Brennan, I have no problem admitting that I screw up. That's, of course, coming from aviation, that's kind of the expected rather than the rule. We got in a discussion on another channel about leadership versus management.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, don't get me started.
And whether or not good leaders would inform their troops about what was going on. And I said, well, Don, you've shot my sniper rifles. Of course, they're also very heavy.
They're heavy and they're built for, they've got stocks that are built for handling recoil
Yeah.
too. No, it's the upper end of my 12 gauge slugs. Brennicky slugs is the upper end of recoil for
Yeah.
me. I don't like anything heavier than that. 9.3 by 62 is up there. What?
RK's response. Good leaders don't brag about their business administration degrees.
Because good leaders don't have business administration degrees.
Well, most of them do.
Mm.
They can't do anything with them.
I've had some really good bosses that were leaders, and I've had some really bad bosses that, and the last one that I can think of, the one that got me to leave Ohio, was because there was a lot of insecurity there.
No, that's a typical manager.
And she knew she was outclassed by everybody that was working under her, and so she did her best to,
Cut everybody down.
yeah.
That is a typical manager.
Well, she had been promoted into that position and in no way, shape, or form was suited for it or had any kind of training or
The Peter principle in action.
capability for it.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I wonder what happened.
I've been posting the principles of leadership on Facebook from my memories.
Yeah.
And there's some butthurt out there.
Mike raises a good
Sounds
point.
like we should collect those and put them on the blog.
They're not original to me.
Oh, okay.
You learn more from the bad ones how not to lead. Yes, that is a true story.
No, these were cribbed together from various leadership schools I went to, PLDC, BNOC.
Still probably worthwhile collecting them and putting them in one place where they can be easily found. What can I say? I'm a librarian at heart.
Yeah.
I like to be able to find research materials.
If they're a manager, that's exactly right, Courtney. She says, I've noticed people who feel they're unqualified for the position tend to snipe at the people they feel threatened by. Yeah.
Yep. I was just thinking about something. I wonder if there's a way. I have said repeatedly that I would prefer to work at a company that was owned and or run by veterans. Not that all veterans are going to be good leaders, but you've got a better chance at getting one like that than you do with just your general MBA types.
I don't know about recently, but PLDC was platoon leaders, patrol leaders, something leaders development course. And it was a
Platoon leaders.
platoon leader. I went through it as an E4, E5, so
Yeah.
I don't know that maybe
Had to be
anyway.
platoon leaders.
Might be patrol leader. I don't know. Anyway, so they beat that into you. And then later on, BNOC, which is the basic non-commissioned officers course, BNCOC, BNOC, took what PLDC and then beat that even further into you. And then ANOC, which, believe it or not, was advanced
Yeah.
NCOC, drilled that even harder. And up until recently in the military, if you weren't a good leader, they moved you on with a quickness.
Yeah.
Primary leadership development course. Thank you. I knew something along those lines.
Yeah, Padre should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think it would be really useful to be able to easily search for companies that were run by veterans.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've had two really good bosses that were not, but
Yeah.
I tend to get on better. Well,
Also, and I hate to say this, but with the global war on terrorism and our little contretemps in Iraq and Afghanistan, we got a lot of veterans that have between 1 and 4 years in.
Yeah.
And they haven't developed the stability that somebody that's been there 15 to 20 years, 30 years has. If you had a veteran, didn't I see Mike?
Yeah,
come through
Mike's in here.
Mike retired as a high level NCO, and you can tell
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mike has had the leadership beaten into him till it came out his ears, and it shows.
Yeah.
Marine.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah.
There are other folks I can think of that had a couple of deployments, say 3 years.
Mhm.
They're veterans,
Mhm.
and they're running their coffee company into the ground. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
My bad. Be
No, well, actually, it's shocking how many coffee companies are
run by
owned and
veterans
run by veterans.
Yeah.
I'm like,
because coffee.
because coffee. Well, that's what
Coffee.
I assumed it was because coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of them are actually quite good.
Yeah.
We're working our way through a bag from one of those companies right now.
Yeah.
It's a good little company that you probably haven't heard of.
Now, the other thing is
Be surprised.
Oh, you would have.
yeah, in
In general
aviation,
on the
yeah,
check.
Oh,
in aviation, you don't hide stuff because,
you're not supposed to.
well, and
Hiding stuff gets people hurt.
yeah, it gets people killed.
Yeah.
The standing joke is you don't ever want a rule named after you because if it is, you're probably dead. But one of the things you learn in aviation is if you screw up, you admit it.
Yeah.
Because you survived it, A. B, you realized you did it. C, if you did it, somebody else is probably damn well going to do the same stupid thing.
Well, one of the
If you admit it, you can get people trained
Mhm.
because, and I've had to do it, stand up in front of the entire boardroom and go, all right, I fucked this up. Here's what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it also reinforces in your own head, hey, stupid, don't do that again.
well, there's one of the principles I forget is, or one of the things is, allow subordinates to come to you when they've screwed up.
Yeah.
Use it as a training opportunity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thing running a crew was, if you screwed something up, tell me, I'll cover for you. I'll take care of it. And it was always praise in public, counsel in private.
Mm-hmm.
And
Don't ever jump on somebody unless they force you to do it. Don't
Yeah.
jump on somebody in public. It's
the shits, when it rolled downhill, stopped with me.
Yeah, and that's the kind of leader that your people will follow you
Yeah.
anywhere because you're actually leading.
Yeah.
I've been in the uncomfortable situation a couple of times in my life where I was leading from below
Yeah.
because the
Ugh.
person in charge was incompetent, absent, some combination of multitudes of things.
Yeah.
To where all I could do would be to step up and set the best example I could do for the other people on my team, particularly if they were newer to the job than I was or just flat younger.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, because I went back to school at an advanced age, I'm in roles parallel with people that are sometimes 15, 20 years younger than I am.
Oh, yeah.
So that's been weird a few times.
Yeah. And Jesse raises a good point, too. Big issue today is everything is documented. A simple mistake can tank somebody's career.
yes.
If they'd have been,
Yes.
if that zero tolerance policy had been in existence prior to World War II, Chester Nimitz would have never made lieutenant
Mm-hmm.
because he ran a destroyer ground as an ensign or JG, one or the other.
Remember the ring-tailed, wall-eyed fits I had at the sheriff's office when they started the paperwork for everything?
Yes.
I would talk myself blue in the face. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take it, retrain them and drive on. Don't put paperwork on these people.
Yeah.
And then I go in there and throw a ringtail fit about putting paperwork on people for the very first mistake they made.
Yeah.
You've been witness to some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And they about 3 months, they'd stop doing that. And then it's like the first screw up, they get paperwork. It's like, knock that shit off.
I heard about it pretty much every fucking day for the entire time I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like one of the things that I'm not thrilled about is I have an app on my phone right now that's direct connect to the parent company that I work for. So I'm a contractor. So I'm actually
Yeah.
It's the company that I'm contracted to.
Yeah.
And I have to have it on my phone. It's a security password thing.
Yeah.
And it was either you install this on your phone or you don't work.
Yeah.
And I do not like it. It's not supposed to be harvesting data from my phone. It didn't ask me. It didn't ask me for permissions. But I believe that about as much as I believe that
Yeah.
the ATF agents at the gun show these days are not looking
Yeah.
carefully at everything going
Well,
on around them.
Yeah. Mike
Another-
says Chesty Fuller once said a real Marine was in the brig at least once.
Yeah.
I think, didn't he also say that,
Now take me to the brig where I can see the real Marines.
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
about Article 15s?
But there's another principle that says whenever a subordinate screws up, you need to double check that it wasn't your fault he screwed up
Mm-hmm.
or she screwed up. Make sure it wasn't something you did that created the screw up. And I couldn't beat that into people's heads. Just
Yeah, I will say that one of the things that the company I work for right now has done right is when there's an investigation write-up, which is done in very great detail because we're a highly regulated company. The policy a few years ago, they moved away from putting anyone's names in it. So that it used to be that there was a name associated with this person did this and this person did that. They have removed that completely because it's not about the person, it's about correcting the processes that led to the mistake being able to be made. And I like that. So you don't have a name associated with an investigation.
Yeah. Well, see, this goes back to everybody's assumed innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were doing default by putting the name out there was assuming everybody was guilty, whether or not they were innocent.
Well, I don't even know about that, but it was because if you're an analyst and you're running a test and the test goes wrong, your name got associated with that because you were running the test.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if you made a mistake or if the product was somehow wrong. But I get what I'm saying is basically the same thing, which is because your name got associated with that, you get X number of investigations and then things happen.
sure.
And that would be the assumption
right.
of everybody else in the company. Well, he or she is screwing up.
Right. Not he or she is working with a product that has a
Has
tendency
problems.
to be unstable. Let's use that word, unstable.
Sure.
I've worked with those.
Sheriff William J. Jimmy Thompson, Korean War vet, told me something. He was the first sheriff I ever worked for. Told me something. One time he said, "All right, you screwed up. Did anybody die?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Did anybody lose a limb?" I said, "No,
Nope.
sir." "Did anybody escape?" "No, sir." "Were anybody's civil rights needlessly violated?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "We didn't make a mistake. It's a training opportunity."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's not a mistake, it's training opportunity. Jimmy was right.
And another point Mike makes, and a good one. Insure orders are understood,
Carried out and supervised.
carried out, and supervised.
Mm-hmm.
I carried that rock for 3 days.
Now, the other,
Seriously, it was a rock.
of course, in aviation, it's a little different because the level of supervision can only go so far
Right.
when you're in a single place airplane
Yes.
Weighed about 40 pounds.
or in your multi-place airplane and you're 1,000 miles from where the base is. So there is a level of trust or a level of, oh my God, I'm going to fucking die. One or the other. This son of a bitch is going to get me fired.
That weighed about 40 pounds, painted green. Yellow said, "Ensure orders are understood, carried out, supervised." I had to carry that bastard for 3 days.
Oh, it looks much better now. Maybe they did fix something.
Well, it's raining out there.
It's raining like a
I
cow
propose
whizzing
we
on a
sit
flat
here-
rock.
Made the connection finally.
I propose we sit here and chat for a while because I don't want to go outside.
Yeah, there were several rocks that at BNOC that were painted various colors with various aphorisms on them. And when you screwed up, you got to carry them.
Yeah.
To chow. I mean, it had to be by it had to be by my bed. Had to take care of it, and I had to every time I showered, I had to give it a bath.
Like having a baby.
Yeah. The comment about it cleaning up reminds me of the very old, very bad joke about telephone systems and rain. The dog was chained up outside the front porch of the house, and they were on a party line. And it occasionally worked pretty well when it was raining. Other
Okay.
times it didn't work all that well. But the dog would start moaning, and then the dog would lift a leg and pee. All of a sudden, the phone inside the house would ring.
Ah,
Did they have chained up to the grounding pole, the grounding stake?
Yes. Not realizing the dog was responsible for making the connection when it peed on the ground.
Wow.
And apparently that was not a joke. That actually was what was happening.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I've seen Stranger Things. There's pictures going around the internet of the wasp nest that's filled up the telephone box unit
yeah.
to the point where you can't see any of the wires anymore. Or
Oh.
the pit bull chained up to the base of the telephone pole that his darn near gnawed through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or the hornet nest in the lock on the gate and the chain. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you want to open them? No. Okay.
No.
Scroll down.
Uh,
There's more chat down there that you can't see.
there are blank cards, by the way.
Oh, fun. Oh, that ought to be interesting.
So this will be coming to fools.
I have discovered that there are people who have never played Munchkin.
Yeah.
This shall not stand. People need to learn how to play Munchkin.
I own a copy of Munchkin and have never played Munchkin.
I don't know that I've ever played it either.
At the state rests, Your Honor.
I've never played D&D either.
I've played a one-shot at a con, and Carrie Codas, thank you, came and sat in for me because I misheard it as being 2 hours, and no, it was supposed to be 4. So I played half of a one-shot.
This is courtesy of Wally, by the way. We
Uh-huh.
played this at Kansas City during,
And the video
Comic-Con.
made me cry laughing.
and it's basically a Cards Against Humanity type game. But
Hello, my name is Hillary Clinton. You licked my popsicle. Prepare to die.
I'm so going to hell.
And
The one that kills me is the screenshot of the Spurgle anthology with the Amazon recommendation of you might also like Hillary Clinton's
It's autobiography.
memoir. I'm like,
Amazon knows us. Yeah.
no. That one was just, and it's not like you could set that up. That was just
No.
perfect.
yeah, Don, I've played a few video games of various sizes.
I love Munchkin. It's nothing like stabbing your buddy in the back and stealing all his stuff. There's a whole llama series in this, by the way.
In the Princess Bride?
In this.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a whole llama series in here.
Hey,
Okay.
Tiffany.
Llamas I was not expecting.
Yeah. Every so often, the algorithm gets a little too on the nose.
Do you need to pay attention to that?
No.
Okay.
It's just going to tell us there's a storm.
And Jonna says,
We
I
got
can't
that
play
figured out.
Munchkin sober.
Ooh, that's
No.
what I could do tonight. No crap, I can't. Never mind. Damn it.
So apparently, if you are a fan of the Spurgle books, the Spurgle Chronicles, you might be interested in Hillary's autobiography. So if you If you're a fan of the Chronicles of a
Malicious, incompetent.
Oh God.
and probable deviant, you might like Hillary Clinton's autobiography. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Brennan.
Amazon, not us.
I saw that the director of the Bill and Hillary Clinton Airport in Little Rock was wounded in a shootout with ATF yesterday.
Fuckers can't shoot worth a shit.
Yeah.
Wounded. They can't shoot worth a shit. Get you.
And wounded, and how many bullets were flying?
Don't know.
That's always the thing, is you hear
Somebody got lucky and hit him in the head with one of them.
it hit him in the head and it's
He's wounded?
Yeah.
Was it Spall?
Don't know. They apparently raided his house at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Why? Yeah. Stop trying to make sense of the world.
Nancy says, I knew a former Marine who was a guard at Camp David for a bit. Not a Hillary fan.
I don't know anybody who's a Hillary fan.
Wow.
Yeah, it is coming down like a cow whizzing on a flat rock out
The
there.
raindrops are bouncing, and it's not
Yeah.
because they're ice.
Oh,
I'm not going home for a bit.
yeah. Nancy, I knew, I worked with a guy that was a former HMX-1 pilot for Marine One, who got sent one time back to Norfolk with Hillary on board because she had forgotten her sunglasses.
Buy new ones.
She didn't want to do that. That was her favorite pair, and she was going to go back and get them.
Buy new ones. They're sunglasses, bitch. Buy new ones.
So they took her back low level. And they found the roughest air they could find going and coming. And apparently she was green by the time they got back and had filled over half the six sacks in the back of the airplane.
Wasn't the Wicked Witch of the West or East green?
West. Yes,
West,
she was
okay.
green.
Just checking.
The flying monkeys, lady.
Yeah, they all hated Hillary.
So you're going to burn up $45,000 worth of fuel to go back and rescue your $16 pair of sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the way she was. When another friend of mine was one of the fellows there for the Navy. He was an 06. When Bill and Hillary took over, he got told he was not allowed to wear his uniform in the White House because Hillary did not want to see any uniforms. Another friend of mine was a junior officer at WICA, White House Communications Agency. They were not allowed to wear uniforms. So yeah, they were not well liked by a lot of people.
If you're active in the military, never mind, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Not going. I'm just going to let that one.
Yeah.
Do you get pictures of the rain?
I did. I got a short video of the rain, which I am going to attempt to post in the Facebook group.
It's not going to show up well enough because the videos on the phones tend to capture less than what we're actually seeing.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I mean, I can show you what I got.
Yes, she did, Raptor. She stole a bunch of china and silverware.
Nice.
Yeah, that
Well
actually
done.
came out pretty good.
Well done.
Rain is going east of us.
It's
headed
headed east. If I remember right, didn't a whole bunch of their staffers steal all the W?
Yeah, they
buttons,
stole all the W's.
W keys off the keyboards.
Yeah.
It was just this juvenile, petty.
State of American politics these days.
You can have it, Tiffany. We need more, but we'll take it a little bit at a time rather than the 12 inches in 12 hours.
We don't need more 500 year floods.
No, Ben, we're not even close to
We
caught
got-
up on the rain.
Back to back 500 year floods. We should be good for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, we're still 7 inches behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier in the decade, we got back to back 500 year
Yeah.
floods. I'm good for now.
Yeah, currently, I mean, this morning my rain gauge was telling me we'd gotten 0.03 inches. Um, the predictions were wobbling
Yeah.
back and forth between a half an inch and an inch. It's tiny town. We have a force field bubble witch
Yeah.
curse on us, so we'll be lucky to get a half an inch.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding for the chat edification, by the way.
Yeah.
We told
didn't
her when she
realize
was on the
this.
way here.
It goes around us.
It goes around us.
It splits, goes around us every
It'll
time.
hit Itchy Pie, and they'll get an inch down there, and up in Oklahoma, just north of us, they'll get an inch up there.
And we get
And
3
we get-
drops.
Yeah.
Yep. That was odd.
Well, the fan just cut out. We no longer have a blower, but we do have power. So
I will put out the drip goblet.
Yeah, that might be
Or is
the
it the drip pitcher?
drip pitcher.
drip something.
There might be a drip stein.
Yeah.
We use something out of the eBay store to catch if the air conditioning unit's dripping. We use something out of the eBay store. It's either a goblet, a pitcher, or a stein.
Yeah, Rick, the good question is, what did the ATF expect on a no-knock raid at ODART 30 in Arkansas? Drip bedpan.
Silver pitcher my mother stole from the Navy. Y'all thought I was joking.
No
The drip
comment.
pitcher. Find out where we put the drip pitcher.
I don't know.
There it is. I got it spotted.
Anyway, they expected a dog and an unnamed woman holding a baby. Yeah.
Unarmed, yeah. Oh, that's right. That's the FBI.
Yeah.
HS Precision, women and children first.
Yep. Sadly true.
I don't know if
Rucci.
y'all remember that particular brouhaha I started
Ruby Ridge.
on my blog, but
Oh, God, yeah.
a stock company called HS Precision.
Yep.
After some years after Ruby Ridge decided that the FBI sniper who decided that an unarmed woman holding a baby was a deadly threat and shot her in the face.
Yep.
Lon Horiuchi, HS Precision made the extremely poor taste to use his recommendation in their adverts.
Oh, and he was there. Remember that year?
Yeah. Mm.
And not a single person went into HS Precision's storefront at the NRA the entire weekend.
So I ran a blog post that said HS Precision, women and children first.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got hate.
Hey,
But-
Larry.
But that year at the that year the HS Precision got the stupids. Sig Sauer was across the hall or the aisle from them.
Yeah.
And they had something new coming out. And Jim and I wandered down that away to HS Precision. It was full of people.
Yeah.
And we realized it was the line to get into Sig Sauer
Yeah.
to couldn't finger their latest release. And it's like, oh, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. And then there was the 2 years in a row with El Paso Saddlery.
Oh, Jesus. I used to love their gear. I really did. Old El Paso Saddlery used to make really great holsters, leather, and they were good at it. 2 years in a row, we went by. I used to carry their pancake holsters religiously. 2 years in a row, we went by, and they could be damned.
Yeah.
They could not be arsed to talk to us. And some little girl behind the counter last year said that something about being tired of the gun people and wanting to. Yeah, I haven't bought old El Paso Saddlery since then, and that's been
The year before,
10 years.
Yeah, they were talking about how much they drank the night before and where they were going to the casino.
Yeah.
And there are people trying to stand there and talk to them.
Yep.
And they're ignoring the people.
Yep.
And on that note, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time. Yeah, they pissed us off, Raptor. That's what they did. Not that
I
Not that
had
we hold a grudge.
no. I was standing there with a pistol and one of their pancake holsters on my hip,
Yeah.
trying to get their attention.
Yeah. Remember Jen?
Little Jennifer Hess, all 5'4" of her, skinny little thing.
Yeah.
Is packing the FN tactical toaster, their tactical 45. It's the size of a toaster,
Mhm.
and
It actually weighs the toaster weighs more than it does.
And she's not big. And her husband was making some smoking holsters at the time, Mike's holster. And she was talking to FN at the NRA, telling them how much she liked their products, and they said, "Oh, that's nice." And what you like, little girl? And she said, the tactical 45.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, that's nice. She, I'm carrying it now." It's like, "Can we get your picture?" Step right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not easy. I mean, we've had these conversations about me,
Yeah.
because for me to try and carry concealed is going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, we can figure something out.
I'm sure we can figure something out, but women in general have a lot more trouble with it than
Yes.
guys
Oh, yeah.
do.
Oh yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
called hips
yes,
and
It's
curves.
called
and
a
curves. Yeah.
it's called a
You've
holster.
got
It's
the-
a firearm holster community that is
not geared towards women.
not geared towards women.
Okay, I'm a flashbang. Yeah.
No on the flashbang.
No, stay away from that piece
No.
of shit.
No.
All right.
Bad, Jesse. Bad.
On that note,
Yeah, Dawn, you screwed that pooch already. She didn't get a shoulder rig for Mike when he was doing them.
Oh, yeah.
It can be done, RK. It takes a little work. You got to get to the right people.
Bad, Jesse. Bad.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Y'all
on
be
that
safe.
note, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
It's still raining out there.
Have a good weekend. Be safe. We'll see you next week. Hello, my name is Jesse Barrett. Bye-bye.
You recommend the flashbang holster. Prepared to die.